successfully we have started it, launched it. Right now we are taking up demo classes. The demo class for Python and stats has been done. Now this SQL is left. So I think once this session is done, we'll start the classes from the next week. Right, we will make sure that the timings don't overlap across 3 of the courses: SQL, Stats, and Python, which we are offering currently. And parallel to that, we also have mock interviews. If you want to take, if you feel that you are good enough to crack the interviews, so you can give it a try. Right, I'll maybe take you through like a couple of minutes there in the end of the session. But yeah, I think that is what we are. So we can get started. Let me just share my screen. Yeah, but to everyone, like if at all there is any question or you want to you have a doubt or you want to pause me up, so you can definitely use the hand button over here in your screens, right? So or go into the chat box here and then type in, right? Or unmute yourself and ask the question. So there are these 3 options. Yeah, so I'll quickly go to my presentation here, which I prepared. Right, so here, yeah, so this is Analytics Sapient. Now in this session, what we are going to cover, right? So the agenda of this is SQL introduction, like what is SQL and how is it used, right, etc. here, and the advantages over Excel. So what are its advantages and why is it very useful, right? Even though we have Excel, why do we have to do it in SQL? Some people in the session might have been worked with on Excel or SQL, maybe the basics of SQL. They want to equip their skills, right? Definitely these things are there, but even if you know Excel, you definitely need to know SQL. I'll let you know why. And there is something called entity relationship diagram, and this is not just simple diagram. So this is a diagram of the database and the tables, and to get an idea of how the tables are linked together and how do you identify each table, right? So there are a lot of things which goes into this, so I'll also cover this. And the next one, the level of data. So the level of data is something very important when you're going to do some kind of join or some kind of merging the tables, right? If you have like multiple tables and if you want to bring everything into one place, how do you do that? So you have to rely on level of the data. I'll teach you what it is and how is it useful. And the next one is I have a set of sample questions which are based on the data set which we are going to go through with this course of SQL. So on those, in the data set, few of the tables, I have prepared up some questions, right, which are the very basic questions, and I'll show you how you can query. Then we will go through the course, like what all it will cover. So these are the main things which we are going to cover today. Yeah, so let me just go to the next slide. Yeah, so this is the basic concepts. SQL is structured query language, right? So this is the full form of it. It means that so we have to query something, like we have to write a particular statement and then on the database of a table to get the output, and the conditions we can put in the filters and the other conditions which we need as per our requirement, and then try to get the answer. And it will be done in a fraction of seconds or sometimes less than a minute, even though it is a complex and large data set if you're going to work on. So it's going to be something like that. And it is a standard language. We are going to use this to access and manipulate the database. So some data we stored. Let's say you have Amazon or Flipkart, right, which stores a lot of data every day on a day-to-day basis. There are a lot of countries where the orders take place and a lot of customers, right? So there are a lot of things involved. So all this data is being stored, recorded, in an automated fashion, definitely. But once the data is recorded, let's say I want to derive insights from that and then to take business decisions using the data. How do I do that? I have to query on it, right? Even though the data is stored, I have to definitely query on it to get the answer. So how do you do that? That is using SQL. Then when a user wants to get some information from database, he can issue a query. Like I said, we can simply write a simple query, and the query writing might take time, but the processing won't take much of time. It will be quicker, even though the data is high. It depends definitely on the platform which you use, but more or less, definitely compared to Excel or compared to any other database, SQL is going to be very helpful here. Right, and query is a user request to retrieve data or information from certain condition. Like I said, we use set of conditions on what the requirement is. Based on that, the data will be retrieved for us. Moving on, then yeah, so SQL, when people say this is broadly defined into 3 categories. One is data definition language, right, where we use create, alter, drop, these kind of statements or renaming, right? So this will be done on the database. So the database schemas, when we are going to create a table or going to alter a table or going to drop some column, drop a table, right? So these are the commands which we do on tables. This comes under data definition language, which is also called DDL. And there is something called data manipulation language, which deals with data manipulation. So the select also comes under this branch of tree, but it is actually divided into two more. But it broadly this is it. Like broadly, this is the data manipulation language. It comes on all of these comes under this, which is select, insert, update, all these conditions. And so broadly, majorly the in the course we are going to cover, we are going to work on these two, the first two, right? This very less, because this is not much of a requirement for us, because this deals with the rights and permissions of the database system, like who can write, who can read, right? Those access related, this is going to happen. So I don't think this is going to be more of system administrator kind of thing. So right now we are going to deal with these two things, and majorly with the second one where we have select here, right? All the things which we are going to do with select, that is going to be very useful. With that, I'll go to the next one. So these are the advantages of SQL, right? So faster query processing. So how complex is the query? How much ever number of joins you are going to make? Still, if you use a certain platform, let's say BigQuery for that matter, any query you write, it's gonna take less than a minute. Less than a minute, 1 minute, close to a minute for the very complex queries where you have thousands of lines of code. But if you have normal query and then with a simple data like 10 TB, 20 TB, right? So with that, it will be like 10 seconds, 15 seconds max. And this requires no coding skills, because this is not a programming kind of language, right? So we have everything like a simple English. So we have select, we have from, we have where. So these are the simple English statements where we use that and then try to build up the query. So this absolutely doesn't require any coding skills, but what it definitely requires is a structured thinking, right? How the computer thinks, we need to think in that direction and then start writing a query. And then once we complete the query, then we have to make sure that the query is also optimized. That is there, but definitely no coding skills. Next, the standard language. Yeah, so this has been standardized because it has started somewhere around 1980s. So from that time till now, so it has been evolved into a bigger thing now, right? A BigQuery has taken up, SQL Server is there, and there are a lot of documentation online. So let's say you stumble upon some problem which you're not able to solve by your own. Definitely, you can Google it. There are going to be solutions for it, right? A lot of people would have encountered the problem already and also solved it. So you will get a direction. Maybe not the exact output you will require, but it will definitely help you, like Stack Overflow, right? That is going to happen. Then it is an interactive language to interpret, like easy to learn and understand. So if you can see the query, like someone who would have written the query and you would have gone to some vacation, let's say in your team, you're working in a company, you have a teammate who has gone to vacation. He gives you the set of queries, but you can just simply take that and then format it and then see and then easily read. Even the comments might not be required. So you can just go through the code and then get to know like what exactly it is doing and how can you tweak it. Everything you can get to know. So it is that easy. And the next one is, it is open source. You have SQL Server, you have BigQuery. All these are there. So they have provided with sample datasets as well, like very basic sample datasets like population statistics across the world, across countries, those kind of information. But definitely you can query for a certain limit with free access. Then SQL is the bread and butter of the data science or analytics. So everyone who are going to start in the field of data science analytics, they definitely have to have, this is a must have, right? These days, when you have to crack a job into data science or analytics, they look for SQL. Even though you are a fresher, they don't exactly look for SQL, but they look for your problem thinking and all, if at all you are going to get placed in the campus. But if you are unfortunate and not able to get placed in the campus, then if you learn this skill, then this is an add-on to your resume. So the recruiters definitely look into this. Like, I need not teach SQL, then the person can directly get into the team and get started. So this is where most of the data science work happens. Like 60-70% of the time you spend it on SQL, and then clean the data, pull the data, right, according to your needs, and then put into the model using Python and apply some statistics and get to solve the problem. Yeah. So why is it good in data analysis? Right, it is used for accessing, cleaning, and analyzing data, right? So this I have already covered. Then the next one is it's semantically easy to understand, learn. Like we said, it can be used to access large amount of data directly where it's stored. So analysts don't have to copy the data into other applications. So everyone, like multiple people, can continuously work on this. Let's say I create a table and I give access to hundreds or thousands of people. Still, everyone can work on it simultaneously. And also, I did the data, override the data. They can create columns. Definitely, they can do multiple operations at the same time. That can be done with using anything. Then the compared to spreadsheet tools, you have Excel spreadsheet, right? So data analysis done in SQL is easy to audit and replicate. So in Excel, if let's say some person would have had some 10 columns in the start, but he would have ended up creating multiple columns or some kind of manipulation he would have done on the data, which you won't be able to track. But using SQL, you can definitely track. It is easy to audit. Like if someone asks, like, how did you get this? Definitely there has to have some best practices. Like if a person writes a query, he should save it in the details. So there is something called details in BigQuery. In any other platform, they have some kind of details section where you can store the query which you write. So if we maintain those quality things, then definitely it is easy to audit and replicate. How we got that answer, that can easily be gotten up. Then SQL is great for performing the types of aggregations. Like we in Excel, you have pivot, right? If some of you might have been familiar with Excel, so we have a pivot table. Let's say we just randomly put a pivot on it. We do sums, counts, minimums, all these things we do, right? But this can be done definitely in Excel, but over much larger data sets. If the data sets are going to be higher, we can't do it in Excel. It keeps hanging, but we can do it in SQL. And on the multiple tables at the same time, this is not possible. The pivoting works only on a table, but pivoting to multiple tables, let's say 10 tables, 4 tables, 5 tables, we can't do that in Excel at the same time, but we can definitely do it in SQL. So this is what the edge